Hello and welcome back to Three Skulls Live, and we are continuing our Mutant Year Zero campaign. So rather than waiting and listening to me do a long blurb, I'll just pass straight over to Ed as we're now 11 episodes in.
Everyone, just a quick recap for yourselves where we last left off. We've kind of done that already, but just to kind of give you a little kind of heads up. From where we left off last session, we've now gone ahead 2 weeks after the shocking revelation from Silas that you all came from another arc, or this place called Eden. Everyone's been up in arms, kind of figuring out what's going on, and you've kind of sort of set your stall out from all the other gang members. So we've had Chunk, who's decided he's quite angry about this information, but doesn't quite know what to do with it. Fink is kind of like keeping it to himself, and Trixie is kind of on your side, wants to kind of find out where you came from and what we can do to help. In the preceding 2 weeks, you managed to finish your cropland, so that's going to help with all the starvation. Each of the different gang members have decided that they will all start their own projects to a lesser or greater extent. And Trixie has been out into the zone with her gang looking for signs of this Eden place that she has heard of from yourself. She came back with a bunch of batteries, some musical instruments, and some other various technology, which she's kind of shared some with Fink. I think has kind of started to sort of build sort of a bit of a workshop. In the meantime, Chunk has decided that there needs to be more militia, which is what he's been doing for the last 2 weeks. What's been handy is that Dara has managed to recover mostly from the horrendous injury to his face. I'm afraid he's never going to be as pretty as he used to be. And at the moment, people are particularly horrible to see you. Even though you've healed, you've still got this horrendous scar at the moment, and your teeth and stuff aren't quite able to chew the food that you would like to chew. And so I'm afraid you won't be manipulating anyone soon. Well, get in sort of the friendly, nicey nice way. Potentially, if you smile at them, you might scare the bejesus out of them, which, for intimidation, that's a good thing. So you've all managed to kind of recover yourself. You've helped around. So I just thought I'd quickly start off. Are there any of the projects that I've explained that you would be willing to stick your hand behind, or are you quite happy to just leave everyone to it? So at the moment, we've got militia, a workshop that's currently current in your ARC's projects. Would all three of you like to involve yourself in either of them?
I will, definitely.
Okay, so you've got a choice, really. So either Chunk's militia or Fink's workshop project.
Yeah, I'm gonna get involved with Fink's workshop project.
Cool.
Even though I don't like Fink, that's also probably the reason why I would want to do it, just to keep an eye on him. I don't trust him.
So if you want to make an endure or comprehend roll,
comprehend.
Be great. Yep. And your successes will be adding to the 2 out of the 9 that's already there. Nope.
No successes.
We start the session as we always do. What does Gia want to do?
Honestly, they both kind of aren't really in my wheelhouse. I wonder if Trixie might have taken me along for her scouting expedition.
Sure.
If she'd done that, then I'd get to rest up now, surely.
Yeah, that's fine. You could have gone out for that, and that is not a problem. Nothing for you to roll, so that's been quite handy. So you went out, came back, and on the plus side, you aren't hurt or anything like that, so that's good.
I mean, I certainly knew what to look for when I said that I needed those elusive batteries to get that thing back running, because we needed to show them, really, they needed to see with their own eyes.
Well, hold that thought, and I can tell you what's in the zones as we go down. So, what does Dara want to do?
I'm going to keep an eye on Chunk, so I'm going to help him with the militia.
Okay, well, that's handy. You can either make a fight or a manipulate roll.
I think I'll go
I think I know where you're going.
Fight, which I've just added an extra skill point in.
That's handy.
Oh,
Cool.
nice.
2 extra successes.
Nice.
Sweet.
So essentially, you are training the militia instead of Chunk. Cool. You're a third of the way through. Nice. Well, that's got that out the way. I guess we'll get. Before we tell you what Gia's done, why doesn't someone roll me a d6 and -1 to see how many people perish for this session?
Should I do that?
Yes, please.
Sure. Well, 5.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, fellow mutants.
you're down to 147 population.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to have a look at the map, you can see where your arc is, where the little house is. So the expedition went due south, down the map, all the way down to here. If I ping that for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you ended up with was a whole bunch of information. So I'll leave this for you to Gia to kind of like make some notes on. So just below your arc, in C26, you found some crumbling ruins with a lot of vines. So you took a while to hack your way through. It was quite a weak rot area, so it didn't really bother you as long as you kind of made your way through there. There was no real issues. You didn't take notice of any kind of any threats or anything like that. It was pretty much just everything was covered in vines and crumbling ruins. One below that, you came across the tail end of a lake.
Can you just ping these on the thing as we're going
So
through?
here we go. I'll ping that one for you. And in there was just nothing. It was just empty, open barrenness. On the plus side, there was no rot whatsoever. It was mostly leftover ruins, and on the sort of like western side of the zone, you had sort of like this long meandering kind of lake. Otherwise, it was essentially featureless. The next one that you went down was a large lake surrounded by woods, much like the woods that you found to the west of your arc. Very dead, kind of very quiet, silent, with mist kind of going all around it. Again, in sort of like there was this large kind of raised central area inside the woods, but you didn't kind of like spend too much time kind of looking around too much. You kind of kept going along.
Mm-hmm.
The next one below that, there's this one here. You kind of came across this large hole in the ground, like a large sinkhole. You pretty much scouted around it. There was quite a bit of rot in the area, so you didn't want to spend too much time here. You kind of scouted that. What was actually on the side of it was this large metal, old rusted oil tank. There was obviously at some point some kind of large facility and it kind of like sunk down into the ground. You quickly went past that, and that's where you found a whole stash of these batteries.
So by the edge of the sinkhole, or
Yeah, by the end of the sinkhole. Yep, here. You spent enough time to kind of wander around into the actual old facility and scavenge a bunch of batteries. You then went further south to this one. And this one, there was a large selection of interconnecting roadways. Some of them were raised up in the air, and underneath them was this two-story, very secure-looking building. Everything was shut, locked, and you couldn't really kind of get into it. Again, it was quite a heavy rot area, so you decided to go further on. But what you could hear was there were creatures inside this very heavily decayed ruin, and you very quickly decided it would be best to just kind of move on. There was nothing here to really find or see.
Yeah, better that way. That sounds not that good. Ew.
Then you moved on to the next one, which was predominantly this really thick marshland. It was very relatively weak rot in the area. And the further on you went, you actually found these tracks that you kind of were following, which led to this very marshy, boggy kind of area. And inside, you could see there was things swimming around. And you could find out there was the leftovers of people that would kind of tried to escape from the bog. Whatever was in the bog had basically killed them. And as you were kind of scouting around the bog, that's where you came across this very large set of double doors, which looked very similar to the doors that you saw in the video. But obviously the video was different to a degree here. It was obviously a lot more decayed. There's a lot more rust. Some of the stuff that was on the video, you might say that it is, but it definitely is some kind of underground complex. So you kind of put a flag into that and thought this might be something to come and look at another time. And then you continued on to the next one. And that ended in this one here, which was this very large, it took up most of the zone, this very large facility, much like the last one. There were lots of different sized buildings. There were lots of fake animals running around in a circle. There was these large tracks that were kind of going up into the sky. It was a very weird, strange place. And you kind of got lost going through this thing. The one thing that was very strange was there was a whole, everywhere you went, there were these sort of like purple and yellow flowers that kind of gave off this strange kind of smell. And what ended up happening is some of the people that you went with you ended up getting distracted and pulled away and falling into the beds of flowers, and the flowers kind of just engulfing them and swallowing them. So you decided to stay away from the flowers and leg it back. So that is the zones that you've kind of gone through as a whistle-stop tour for yourselves.
Well, wow. When I get back and tell my friends, I do highlight the fact that the way was really quite dangerous, and it started out a bit boring, and we're like, yeah, this is fine. And then, just before we reached there, I mean, those doors looked great, but the swamp before and whatever noises we heard from those ruins, but you'll see for yourselves, sure. I'm soon, I'm sure.
So I guess that leave you to decide what do you want to do. Would you like to go and investigate, or would you like to set off and do something different?
Well, I'd really love to show off those doors. I mean, I thought they were exactly the same. And I mean, up to this point, we're the only ones who've, seen them. So I'm sort of the only person who can judge, but I don't want to be the only person who can judge. I want to show the rest of them so that they can compare.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be keen, I think, to check them out, because I'm the one who's been like spinning the stories and trying to get everyone excited about Eden, and this sounds like a really good lead, so I'm up for that. I would like to use my talent as well before we leave to, I don't know, effectively, I kind of see it as maybe spinning some tales about Eden that I'm making up, maybe.
Okay.
So trying to just keep people's excitement high, and tying in stuff I might have seen in comic books, or whatever we've had previously. That's using my performer talent.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So you use that, and the number of successes will determine how long you kind of keep everyone interested for, I guess.
Okay. And I wanted to use 5 of my experience points to bump my Inspire skill up to 4.
Cool.
Since I've been doing that a lot.
Yep, that's no problem.
Okay. Do you want me to do that now then? Roll for that?
Yeah, go for the roll.
Okay. Okay. So with 1 success, I get D6 bullets or rations of grub. And just looking at my gear, the grub is a bit low, so I think I'm gonna try and go for some grub.
Okay.
Hey, look at that. 5 grub.
Woo!
Wow, sweet.
Which is gonna make me encumbered,
Okay.
but we'll split that up later, I guess.
Yep, no problem. Sure. Okay. You kind of keep everyone sort of interested as much as you can, and you kind of set off handily, because Gia went with them. You can automatically just rush through if you wish to. If you want to stop at any, you can do. That's completely up to you. If you want to explore in more detail, you can. But it was pretty much explored previously. It'll be up to you what you want to do, Gia.
I'll say we can probably speed through the first 3 at least.
Yeah, that's fine. So you want to skip that one, that one.
Before we fully head off,
Sure.
Not that I want to retcon anything, but I don't have any food, but I've got 2 bullets. Could I swap out some bullets for some food?
You can indeed. 2 bullets.
I'll give you two of the grub that I've got with me. In fact, I'll give you half my grub, so you've got 3 grub.
Let me check how I'm doing.
But we're going like 6 years out there, aren't we?
Yeah, we need some water as well. It looks like.
Yeah.
We're very low on water. And
so
maybe we should do some shopping before we leave.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I think so.
So just to remind you, because you've been through the sector before, if you wanted to rush through a sector, one sector will take you 1 hour to go through.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to take us. It's not going to take us a huge amount of time.
All right, great.
To go 6, but it's still worth taking more water and stuff, because if we take any damage, we have to eat or drink that much to get our health back up, or our attributes back up.
I mean, I could also scavenge along the way, but
but water,
just
water will be irradiated.
Exactly,
right?
For a starting supply, that would be
I don't
much
see the
better.
problem with that.
Oh, I mean, I like mutating. No, let's take some.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
What's
fine.
the cost? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, so offhand, I believe. Just get my handy book, which is here. I
It
think
might
it's
actually
one.
be in the. It might be in the
Yeah,
in Foundry here.
I think it probably is. Let's have a look.
Where is it at?
It'll be. Would it be? I'm hoping.
It's in the gear section at the end, I think, which isn't in the player section. I know in the book it's right at the back. You got prices for things.
Past the Eden special zone, artifacts, threats and zone. No, I'll just get the book. When in doubt. Here we go. So I think one food is one grub at the moment.
Yeah, and water
Yeah.
is half for a ration.
Yeah. That looks about right.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna buy 2 water portions
Mm-hmm.
for 1 bullet.
That's cool.
I'm going to do the same. What do we... No, it's awful to use Intimidate to try and get some more water for us.
If you want to.
I mean, you're out there risking your bacon for them.
Yeah, I'm not going to be too greedy, but I mean, I try to sort of intimidate them
Sure.
to give us like an extra portion per bullet.
Yeah, sure. If you want to do that instead of kind of like trying to talk them through, kind of, oh well, what about this? You just basically just intimidate the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Make it intimidational. Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, you can for pretty much for 1 bullet you can get 3 food and you can,
3 water, you mean?
Sorry, 3 water. Yeah,
Great.
That's just for Dara, though, right?
that's just Vidara. Yeah.
Also, just looking at stuff, I'm quite overloaded with stuff that we collected. The artifact, the camera, I'm not taking that with me.
Okay.
What about I've got scrap armor and a rot suit.
Right.
It probably makes more sense for me to carry a rot suit with me than scrap armor. What do people think? I'll go to Dara and ask. Hey, what do you think? I mean, you're gonna be protecting me, right?
Yeah.
Look how quick you bounced back from what happened at the lake.
Yeah, I've only got one side of the
amazing.
jaw left, though.
Here, do you want my scrap armor?
If it fits.
It'll fit. I'm sure it'll fit.
I mean, you just have to, like, hug your bottom arms to your belly.
Yeah, gaffer tape it on.
Yeah, you can kind of like put some.
I mean, it's scrap armor. It's scrappy
Broken.
anyway, so
Yeah,
it's got like probably lots of like moldy shoelaces and stuff to try and like tie it around. So I imagine it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tight, like wire that you're tightening with pliers. That's never coming off. Sort of like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. Yeah, that's fine. You can have yourself some scrap armor then in that case. Dara.
Oh, great.
Want to throw some onto you?
Add new armor. What's going on here? How do I change that?
I think if you click on the like edit icon for it, which is next to the T-shirt, where it says new armor.
I'm just gonna. I'll delete that for you. Hang on, and just give you some new armor.
Okay.
Here's some I made earlier. Scrap armor. There you go. Sorted.
Ah, great. Thank you.
I don't know if you have to click the equipped button as well or not. The like T-shirt button. That okay? Yeah, it needs to be black.
Yep, that's done.
I think that affects your encumbrance potentially. I'm not 100% sure on that though.
I think if you're wearing it, I think it's fine.
I can't remember. Yeah. Anyway.
No, I can't remember. It's fine. Your encumbrance is still fine, so it's okay. Yeah. So you can get yourself some food. You can get yourself some water. anything else you want to get before you go?
Right, I find myself with 2 scrap rifles. I'm sure I can sell one of them.
You can. They're more likely to part exchange it for something else.
I mean, barter. So how much water would get me?
Your scrap rifle.
Yeah.
That will get you 8 portions of water.
Gosh, that's great.
Wow, that's good.
So I think I'll do that and actually make. I wonder if, in that case, Silas even wants to spend bullets on that.
If you're gonna trade it for water, then no, I'll probably will have not spent money on that.
Yeah, let's do that, because I mean, there's no way we need more rifles, but if you have 1 rifle and more bullets, that's always going to be useful.
So could I take, like, I don't know, should we split that up a bit? Like, should I take three of the water that you've just had?
That sounds great.
I've also bought an additional portion of grub, so that I'm sitting on 4 grub now. They cost 1 bullet each. So I don't know about yeah, I'm just looking at look at what Gia has there. In your weapons. You have like an arsenal on you.
Yeah, I don't think I need all of that. I was gonna say I think I'm probably more comfortable keeping the rifle than keeping the pistol.
Yeah. I have a pistol as well, so you don't need to, like, I just sell that for grub, maybe.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'll just keep one of the rifles and the bow, which is what I'm most used to, and I guess I like because it's silent.
So you want to get rid of the scrap pistol?
Yeah. So I was going to say, swap the rifle for water, swap the pistol for grub, and what was my impression of the rot situation as we were nearing that suspicious gate?
1 second, I'll have to have a look. So you'll get 4 grub for the scrap pistol. So the suspicious looking gate, I'll tell you now. Was I'll hold you in suspense. It was relatively weak rot. So you'd suffer 1 rot point per day that you spent there.
So I think I'll leave the rot suit behind for encumbrance's sake. I'll stash that in our school tower.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you guys think that I should try and barter for a dose of booze for some reason, since I suddenly find myself a bit rich?
Don't forget to add your grub and water.
Yeah, I'm
on
just
the side
doing that right now.
To look at your encumbrance.
Yep. I mean, I don't have to take all that. I mean, I could stash half of it in the tower also.
I would probably try and take a bit of it, because we might need it. It's better to have it and not need it than not to have it.
Go wrong.
Yeah, so I still have 1.25 encumbrance left, I guess.
I don't think booze is very heavy either. I think it's 10 doses for, like, I don't know if it's like 1 weight or something. I don't know. Do we need to, I mean, booze is used as like petrol, as fuel to get like generators running, cars running, that sort of thing. I think you can use them for Molotov cocktails, that sort of thing.
I think it also
and you can drink it.
You could drink it to numb the pain. I think it is.
Yeah.
So it's got quite a few uses.
If something like that happened again, if we got in one of those bad scrapes. So what's the exchange rate there?
That is a good question. So for booze, so What are you trying to exchange?
I guess either grub or water.
If you want to exchange grub, you'll get I guess water. You'll get a bottle of booze for water.
A dose, you mean?
No, one bottle, which will give you 10 doses.
For one bottle of water?
For one bottle of water.
That's cheap, surprisingly. Yeah, totally.
And,
let's
get
let's
that
do
from Fink.
that.
Okay, that's fine.
So I'll have 4 water.
That's like 10 times the price of a bottle of water, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
I'll have 4 water and 4 grub, so that should keep us going. And then if emergency, then if we run into something that calls for either burning down or getting roaring drunk, we can.
I'm just wondering whether I should, whether it's worth trying to bring like a dog along. We don't have a dog handler though. I'm not a dog handler.
No.
So I can't really have the dog do anything mechanically.
You want to borrow a dog? I mean, what do you want the dog to do?
Yeah.
Like for scouting purposes or for protection purposes?
And there's prices here for each of the roles, so we could theoretically pay somebody to come along with us
if you want to. Yeah.
What about? It could be quite useful to have a gearhead with us in case we need to try and open things. What about Zippo? Zippo?
Oh yeah.
My NPC.
My friend Zippo. Yeah. Zippo will happily will come along with you.
So I don't have her like statted up or anything, but there's like templates, aren't there, in the book for
there is.
each of the roles. So I maybe like ask her if she wants to come along, because we might be able to use like maybe things are a little bit. I don't know. Like, I don't know if things are too tense for her at the arc or not necessarily, but I think maybe this is a great opportunity to see. Like, I'm really excited about the arc, and I'm probably going to be talking to her about it and saying, like, we're probably going to need a gearhead with us when we go to check it out in case something needs opening or.
And I tell her about that super weird place with the man-eating flowers, and the weird constructions that I saw there, and just these sort of like bridges going up into the sky and all these weird swirly curves, and I've never seen anything like that. Oh my goodness, you totally need to check that out.
She's very kind of like, oh really.
I draw a super ugly, horrible sketch, and that's not my strong suit. I can't really draw. But I mean, you should have seen that thing going up and down, and it was crazy.
She's a gearhead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. She's very excited. She hasn't been out in the zone really.
I mean, I hope she's sort of the civil engineer bender gearhead rather than the like watchmaker.
No.
But that's the kind of things I've seen and I'm excited about. So
she's really excited about some weird stuff that she can have a look at, and she's all behind the Eden. So yeah, she's more than happy to have a look at that. I'm just quickly throwing her together.
But she's never been out into the sort of wilds.
I mean, like the same that we all have when we were running from the biker gang.
Yeah, so she's it's going to be a new thing for her.
It's cool. We know how to do this. We've got your back. Don't be afraid.
She's like, well, yeah, I could do that. That's fine. How hard can it be?
Right. We got Dara to look after everybody.
How composed is she normally? So I'm going to spend a bit of time just watching how she acts?
What is she like? Matt, is she?
That's a good question. Let's go with that. She's quiet. She's kind of quiet and not necessarily shy, but she's happy to play the kind of take a back seat when people are talking. She, you know, at a party, she's in a corner, kind of watching people rather than an introvert, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does she step quiet and clatter around and?
I don't know. I don't know if she's kind of a bit too left feet or more of a mousy type that likes to kind of stay unnoticed.
I mean, I guess
I imagine she's
put to the test that much, right? If we ask her, she probably just wouldn't really know.
Well, yeah, she's as Matt says, she's quite quiet, and in fact, that kind of helps with her mutation. She has the mutation tracker, which means that she senses an enemy sneaking up on her. She's very good at kind of sneaking around, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's good to know.
So it's handy.
Perfect.
Thank you, random dice generator. Cool. Okay.
I guess it would have made more sense to roll her mutation first and then work personality around it, but that worked out quite nicely.
Yeah, that was quite handy. Yeah, so that's half the fun. Okay, you are going together. Are you going to give her any gear? She hasn't got anything at the moment.
She can have. Does she have any points in like shoot?
Nope.
Or is her agility relatively high?
Nope. She's good at
wits, right?
Yeah, she can comprehend stuff. She's got jury rig.
I'll give
and
her.
Actually, she's got move as a thing, so she can actually get out of the way of things quicker than.
Does she have any bullets?
No. Let's give her some bullets. Roll me d6, someone.
I'll do that. I'm in there already. Oh, 6. Or is that a 1?
That's a 1.
That's a 1.
She's got 1 bullet.
I'll give her 3 more bullets.
Yep.
And I'll give her my scrap pistol.
Okay. She's got the scrap pistol then. Excellent. And let's have a look. I've done this for every single other NPC we've got. What random piece of scrap does she have? You never know, she might have something extremely important to you. She possesses a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, let's not take that along.
Okay.
That's probably a lot of encumbrance.
Something she found once, and she's kind of hung on to it. But, yeah.
I mean, I hear they're great for bashing people over the head with.
That is true. But she's not going to take it because she realizes she has to be quick on the move to get away from bad stuff. So yes, you have Zippo, who's happy to come along with you. She takes enough food and water for herself for a few days. And she'll rely on whatever you're going to give her. Cool.
Okay.
Anything else you want to do before you head off into the unknown?
Is anyone else coming with us? Is Trixie coming with us, or anyone else?
No, they've they're well. I mean, if you ask them to come along, they potentially might, but they've only just really recently come back, so they probably don't want to kind of go back out there.
But they've scouted it out. They think they've found it, and it's now it's your turn to.
Yeah, pretty much. We've done the scouting bit. It's all yours.
But do we want to show anybody our video before we're off?
Yeah, I mean, you have access to show everyone now if you wish.
I think we have. Didn't we do a public showing of it or something?
Yeah, actually, no, you hadn't because last session you used the generator.
we watched it over and over until the battery ran out.
But now you've had more batteries. You can do that.
We'll definitely have shown Zippo, and I guess maybe we would have shown the bosses.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
Yeah,
tell them that we're
that's-
gonna, we think that this place that Trixie found is a potential site, so we're gonna go check it out.
Okay. So yeah, you go and check it out, and they will. And if obviously it is the place you think it is, then come back and let us know, and we'll all go.
Yeah.
They all agree.
Okay. I'm just wondering if we should take like a runner with us, like a messenger.
Well, Zippo can
like
run.
what if it happens to be really dangerous? If it happens to be really dangerous or something, we could send somebody back for reinforcements. It would take like 12 hours.
Zippo will be happy to run
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
She's happy with that.
Yep.
She's like, yeah, I can do that. That's fine. I'm cool with that.
Okay.
At the slightest sign of danger, you hear?
Absolutely. She's a fixer. She's not a fighter. Okay. You head off. Are you particularly want to stop at any of them, or you just want to? You say you want to go through the first three pretty quickly.
I mean, we're not looking for artifacts. We don't need grub and water because we just bought all that. So I think the name of the game is get there as quickly as possible, right?
I mean, I'm kind of tempted to have the others sort of like listen at the ruins with the creepy sounds. I don't know if we or give them a wide berth, but I sort of I kind of want to point them out at least.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to stop there, and so that's this one here.
Just kind of have a quick look around, maybe.
If you wish.
Like I feel brave with my friends around me.
Okay.
Like with Trixie's gang, I was certainly like more in the back seat, and now this is sort of my expedition, and
Sure. Okay. Yes, it doesn't take you long. It takes you a couple of hours at most to bypass the zone with all the weird creeping vines. You go through the zone that has nothing in. You then go through.
Excuse me.
Oh. Okay. Does someone need to call some paramedics?
She's all right. Good.
Oh, excuse me, that went down the wrong way. I'm good now.
Okay. Yeah, so you go through the zone without anything in. Then you get to the zone with the lake and the dead woods and the mound that's in the middle, which you quickly bypass, and then stop in the zone that has the old facility that has the hole in the ground. That's when you want to stop at. And you want to do some search. This is the place you searched last time and found all the batteries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yes, there's that massive hole in the ground where the facility is kind of like fallen into it. And yeah, you can hear sort of like weird noises coming from underneath the ground.
What do you think? Maybe this is another compound like the ones with the the weird guys in.
Can we hear anything?
Yes, the more you kind of listen, you can hear this howling, whistling noise as if there's sort of like wind underneath the ground going in between this hole. The hole is really dark. You can't really see anything in it. You'd probably be able to climb down there if you kind of climb through all the ruins and sort of like all the jagged metal and stuff. you'd probably be able to make your way
So
down there.
This is
But it's dark.
Does it look like you said it's in the middle of like a facility or like
Yeah, so there's all around you, you've got large, round, for all intents purposes, you've got large, round, big metal drums that are on a huge scale that have all kind of like fallen in to the ground. There are other lower flat buildings sort of around that's crumbling ruins. In one of the buildings, there's a large pool with this yellowy kind of nasty looking liquid that kind of screams, "Hi, I'm rot." So you kind of like stay away from that. And you can see that at some point there's all these large tubes that would have gone between all the various different buildings and all the different large, extra large things that are sort of like just dropped on the side. There's probably like cranes and stuff that have fallen over at some point. So there's lots of metal girders laying around. It's just this large.
And the hole is like in the ground or in the like in a building.
The hole is in the ground on the side of one of these, on the side of the buildings, and the buildings that are on the side of that facility have obviously fallen into the actual sinkhole. So
it's a sinkhole, effectively.
It's a sinkhole,
okay. All right.
It's there that you can hear all the
whistling,
the whistling sounds.
There's no way in hell I'm going to go down there.
No, I didn't think we ought to. I mean, certainly not before we've figured out what that gate is. That gate looked so cool, but I just wanted to show you this, and I think this is important. And if this place is like between us and Eden, and we have to come by here, and that's gonna just be like a couple hours ways from us, like. I mean, if we're going to go to Eden and this is like in our neighborhood, we need to do something about it, right?
I don't know what you mean by do about it. I'm double checking all the seals on my rot suit are like properly sealed up. Can we move along maybe? Talk about it somewhere else. I don't know how you feel not wearing a rot suit, but I'm a bit twitchy here.
yeah, just making sure you know this is here. I feel this is important somehow.
Okay.
You're looking to the very dark, large sinkhole.
I have some torches. Or no, I have a torch. I'm not okay. And I have one torch. I'm not going to drop it down there. No. No.
Yeah, no. Okay. Let's skip the Nietzsche quotes. And just now you know it's there.
That's fine. You move on to the next one. So you move on to the next one, which is the zone with all the large raised roads that are kind of like going. It's like a big, massive. They're all on sort of like on stilts. There's all these roads that kind of overcross each other, and underneath the roads overcross, you've got this very large, secured 2-story old building that seems very secure. It's got lots of chain link fences. It's got lots of heavy metal shutters that are all kind of streaked with rust. And
what's the facility? What's the 2-story facility look like?
It's very square.
Okay.
It's got like an area where there's a lot of very uniformed looking vehicles, which are sort of black and white kind of things with smashed tops. Everything's really rusted. Are there
any signs or anything that I could potentially read?
Yeah, make a comprehend roll.
Oh, sweet. I always forget about reading.
Well, I'm the only one in the party who can read. I think we've established, right?
Yep.
So 2 successes.
Yes. There's you have to kind of clear away sort of towards the front of the building. And as you clear away, there's this very large black and what was left of a sort of like white sign. On it, it says Station 47. And then there's like some words you can't read anymore. And then underneath there's a shield. And in the shield, there's like some other like kind of motive. Obviously, the time before, there was a lot of these kind of motives kicking around. And it says protect, serve. And you see the word police written on the shield.
Okay. And this is next to those like roads in this jutting into the sky.
Yeah, you've got, so it's actually underneath them. So all the roads kind of go across them, and
when you say roads, like tarmac roads.
Yeah, which is on stilts. So it looks like they've all been raised up, and this building's been built underneath all the kind of like raised up roads. There's a whole confluence of them. They all kind of like go across, and
got it.
Some of them are quite large, some of them are a bit smaller. Some of them curve around to attach to the other roads. You're like, oh, okay.
I'm imagining Spaghetti Junction.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing.
Is that what it's called, Spaghetti Junction in Birmingham?
Yes, the one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then as you're kind of like looking around, that's when you notice that there are things looking at you from inside the facility.
Okay. I was just about to suggest that maybe we could find something inside that big building, but if there's things looking out at us, then maybe not. When you say eyes, like humanoid eyes, animal eyes, can we tell?
It looks like humanoids.
Fucking zone ghouls, probably.
Zone ghouls that all seem to be presumably locked in. You can't see a way. You have a look around. You can't see a way in. Everything seems to be locked up tight. So those zone ghouls must obviously be in there. And it'd be left in there.
All right.
Yeah, let's get away from here before it gets dark, I think.
Yeah, let's leave them well alone as well.
Yep.
Building full of zone ghouls, that's not cool.
As you kind of leave here, you do see above one of these large roads that are going up into the sky, this massive set of words and numbers and letters that kind of go across the top. It's sort of like a pylon. Some of them are hanging slightly off. They're all rusted. You can barely make out, like it says R73. Another one says A43. There's a whole load of different sort of letters and numbers and various other things. And there's all these arrows pointing in really random directions. Yeah, just what you see as you kind of leave this area and make your way further south to the place that you know of. So as you kind of leave the area, keep making your way south, and you start getting into sort of like a marshy kind of area. Everything starts to get a lot more kind of sodden. You have to kind of make your way around things. It's not as straightforward as you'd like. So in that case, I would very much like you to find the path for me, please, Gia.
And I presume that's another zone.
It is.
Right on.
In fact, I think it's scouting, isn't it? Wrong game.
It's been so long. Is it find the path?
Find the path. Yeah.
Find the path is the
is the ability.
Is this skill the stalker skill? Yeah,
that's the one.
I'm going to have been looking around. If we've come from, oh wow,
3 successes. That's amazing.
Yeah, do keep well away from that ugly swamp. That's rotty and swallowy, and just generally keep away from me. We go all around, and I'll show you to those gates straight away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you kind of you kind of wander around.
But Dara was wondering something. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's, well, are we close, Gia?
Yeah. Just around the swamp, and then there's those gates there.
If we came out of here, wouldn't we recognize something of it?
Maybe that swamp didn't used to be here. I don't know.
But I don't remember. We were really small in that video. I don't remember a journey like that.
Me neither.
I mean, I didn't remember anything of that until we saw it, right? I mean, maybe, maybe it wasn't even us, but it looked like us. So.
Then, how do we know it isn't a lie?
I think that's why we need to go there to see if, if that's Eden.
Yeah.
And if it's something else, we'll find something else. That's cool too. They might have nice stuff for Zippo and maybe, I mean, even that silo full of strangers. Yeah, they were all mad, but they had cool stuff.
They were feeding children to pigs.
Yeah, that. But having those pigs is nice. Hardly anybody's starved anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Then lead on, Gia. Lead on.
Right. So I make everybody, take great care not to get close to the swamp at all, because you rot.
Yeah, so as you're making your way around, you do see these large creatures kind of like swimming around in the water of the swamp. And you try very hard to stay away from them. So you pretty much have to kind of make your way around, but with that roll, it's great. You manage to make your way around the swamp, making sure you don't have to actually go through any of the actual watery areas. There's a couple of times you don't have a choice, and you've got to like put your foot in the water and then move across. But you look around and off you go. So it takes a little bit longer than you probably would have liked, but you manage to eventually get round. And what you come to is as you kind of make your way towards the far side of the zone, you can see this large hill, but then you realize as you get closer, the hill itself is made up of a lot of rubble, and all the plants have kind of grown in through it, so it looks like a hill. But as you get closer, you realize it's just some kind of large facility that has eventually kind of collapsed and crumbled in. You kind of get up to the doors that you found, and you have to kind of move all the kind of vegetation to the side. And yeah, as you do that, it takes a little while, but you cut things down, and you can find these two large gates, for all intents and purposes. And then behind the gates, you've got a large metal door, about 10 or 15 foot behind the gates that you've cleared away. And this has like a bit of an overhang, and there's bits of rubble around on the floor, and all the kind of vines and all the vegetation have kind of grown up around the sides. There's loads of fungus and stuff and bits of mold around. But yeah, you can see pretty much very similar to the video you watched. This large door that you can see in front of you.
What do you think, guys? Isn't that like that thing?
Yeah, it looks like it. I think. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to see the video again right now to be able to compare, but
you didn't take the camera.
No.
So.
But we're here. We're gonna check it out anyway, even if we weren't 100% sure, right? So.
Right. Let's go and. I'm sure we're going to find something, even if we don't find Eden itself, we might find more traces. This is what we've been looking for all our lives.
Do you remember where the those Nova people, where they were that that crazy thing that flew into the sky that nearly killed us all? They had a bunch of doors that opened with those cards, and I've got the card still, the one for Eden.
Mm-hmm.
we might be. If this is Eden, then maybe we can use this card here to open doors. Maybe.
And we know what that door opening thing looks like now, and I'm sure Zippo will be able to, glean something.
Here, Gia, you're really good at like finding the way and spotting things in time and stuff. You take the card. It's all you do is you just swipe it. I don't know the word swipe. You just kind of pass the card in front of. There's like a little. We'll show you what the boxes look like. And I mean that's how it worked at the other place.
I mean, I've seen you do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Gia, do you want to make a scout roll, please?
Absolutely, do I want to?
If anyone else wants to make a scout roll, they can do. There we go.
Yeah, I'm not pushing that.
Okay.
Yeah. I will, sure. Since that was a failure.
Mm-hmm.
And I would totally cripple myself if I push that.
We're just overawed by being here that we're not really looking around in too much detail. Oh my God,
so.
we're all rolling ones.
Oh.
So none of us are pushing.
Oh, where's Zippo? Let me try Zippo.
Zippo!
There's a reason why you brought her along.
Yes.
Yeah, you're kind of like moving stuff around, trying to find out what it is. Zippo's kind of doing something similar, and she kind of goes over to the side of the building, and it's a really random place to find, and she starts to pull down all the vegetation. As she's pulling out the vegetation, she sees underneath it there's a big sort of rusted metal sign with that same logo that's on the card, with some words above it, and underneath that there is a small one of those kind of like things that you put the card into, and there's also a little box with a piece of glass in looking towards you, and she kind of finds it and goes, I think this is the thing we need. And she kind of
so
looks over at you,
excited.
Gia.
Yeah. Wow. Great job, Zippo. And
Wow, Zippo, well done.
I rush up with the card that Sally's given me.
Yep. You kind of like wave it in front of it. Nothing seems to happen. As you kind of look, you can see there's like a little slot to put it into.
Oh, do you think it goes in there?
She shrugs her shoulders. I reckon.
Yeah, I fiddled with it. And,
I'm kind of trying to look over your shoulder a bit.
Everyone's kind of looking in. You kind of eventually, it's a bit gummed up. You have to kind of like get your finger in and pull some stuff out. You eventually sort of put the card in, and it doesn't seem to do anything.
Just as you're about to put the card, I'll be like, but like,
eventually,
I guess you ignore me. But
yeah,
like, what are you doing?
The card comes out of your fingers. It kind of sucks it up into it. You're like, ah. And then you hear this bleep, 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 bleep noise. And this little blinking light, really, really faded, little blinking light comes on the area that you kind of put it in. And it's this really fading green little thing. And then you hear this scratching noise and this growling noise. And then all of a sudden, all the rocks and stuff around you start to kind of like shake and then start to fall down. And this massive door just starts to shake and then starts to slowly raise with this horrible metallic screeching noise as it starts to squeal and scream its way up to about maybe 6 foot high, and then it kind of like jars and stops. You can hear this more screeching noise coming from inside, just like squealing mechanical noise, and then you hear a thunk and a thud, and then everything stops.
My goodness.
receive
As the gate opening happened, I think I got scared and took a giant frog leggy leap back. Find myself behind everybody. But now I'm like, it worked, and I wave the card. It spit out the card, right?
You kind of look
After the bleep bloop noise.
Yeah, then the card comes out, and it's just hanging out there.
Yeah. I pass that back to Silas, and I'm like, well, this has got to be it. Your thing said Eden, and it worked, and so this is got to be it.
Yeah, we found it, didn't we?
I slap everybody on the shoulders, and I'm like, yay!
The light coming through the kind of vegetation and stuff. Just on the inside, you can see that there appears to be a small box room.
Are there no lights inside the room?
There's no lights or anything. Everything's dark.
I'm gonna get my torch out then.
Yep.
I'm gonna light it, and I'm gonna hand it to Gia.
Right on. I take a few careful steps.
Yep.
I'm just super clever. We've still got the element of surprise.
I'm sure that screeching wasn't heard 17 zones away, I'm sure.
Yeah. Even things without ears heard that.
Yeah. So, Gia, you take a few steps in. It's quite a musty kind of damp smell. You go in, you can see.
Do I feel like it's rotty?
Does it feel like it's? It could be with maybe the smell, but
should I roll for Rot Finder?
You can do.
That goes with Scout also, doesn't it?
Yes.
Not used it for so long. Come on.
Yeah, it does not have any rotten.
Right on.
It's just really damp and musty. That's what it is.
This isn't rot. It's just been shut off for so long. Come on. Don't worry, Silas. This is safe.
You took around to Silas in his full box suit.
Yeah.
But a bit err on the side of caution. I get it.
Yeah, you make your way into the sort of like room. There's a small room inside this large cavernous room, off to the side. You can also, as you walk through, you see that the actual door itself is maybe 3 to 5 feet thick, and it's on these kind of rollers on the inside, which all seem to have like whatever the material was that was around the rollers have since rotted away. So it basically had metal on metal grinding as it went up. You kind of go in and you can see this large entranceway, a smaller room off to the side, and then towards the back of the room there is a tunnel leading off into the darkness. The tunnel is probably, if you were to all hold hands as far out as you could, you probably wouldn't be able to go across the whole tunnel. It's a huge tunnel, and it just goes further on in, and it kind of like starts to go down at a slight angle.
This is bigger than Nova Guys' tunnels.
Mm-hmm. Massive.
Wow. Just imagine the size of arc you could have in here.
Do we hear anything coming from inside?
It is dead silence apart from the noise you are making.
Okay. And Zippo did not bring the fire extinguisher with her, right?
She did not.
Does anybody have anything that we could jam under, like just put in the doorway that if the doors start to close again, they can like jam it open?
You reckon if that door came down whatever you put under there,
get
barring it
crushed.
being like a full car, would probably get crushed.
Okay. All right. Never mind. It's that thick then, huh? Okay.
I mean, do we find anything in there maybe that could do
There's
that?
nothing in here. It's empty.
Okay.
Apart from damp running down the sides of the walls, the odd bits of moss and stuff that have kind of like congealed into some massive nonsense. Other than that, that's what it is.
So no service doors or something leading off
Nothing.
to washrooms and broom closets?
Nope.
Okay.
Just this long, round tunnel that goes deeper in.
Does it like slope downwards, or does it?
Yeah, it does. It
Okay.
slopes slightly downward. There is this yellowy, faded yellow couple of lines on the floor delineating one side from the other. And there's a sort of like hashed yellow line on either side right next to the edge of the tunnels. But that's the only markings you can see, and it just goes down. As far as your light can see, you goes into darkness. And the only sound you have is your footsteps.
This is amazing.
This might be a good place to just see if anybody needs if we need to take a quick comfort break.
I'd like one.
As in a
Yeah.
yeah.
Seems
All
like
right,
a place.
let's do that very quickly then, and come back. So like a 5-minute break.
Sure, sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Wow, this is a great adventure as always.
Dun, dun.
We'll be back in 5 minutes then.
See you in a minute. or you'll die.
All right, we're back.
Okay. Right, so you'll carry on. Well, I don't know. Are you going to carry on down the tunnel? Are you going to run home? What are you going to do?
Hey, we've lit a torch. We're going in.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, Gia, you're going ahead?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Followed by Dara.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
I guess.
Oh.
I guess.
You're not happy.
Then I guess
And
Zippo.
and Zippo at the back, I think.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, you make your way down this tunnel. It seems to go on forever. And eventually, the tunnel ends. As you're getting towards the end of the tunnel, you can see there are vehicles, which are on the sides of the tunnel. Weirdly, they seem to be in fairly decent preservation. They're rusted, and the odd wheel is kind of like broken, but on the whole, they seem to be in relatively good nick. All the glass is still in it.
Wow.
There doesn't seem to be any broken glass in anything. And just as you get to the end, there's a couple more vehicles, and there is a large set of double doors similar to the one you came through, but they look like they could be slightly thinner. And same thing, next to the side, there is one of these boxes, which has a place to put the key card.
Yeah.
How far
Gia,
down does it
here's-
seem that we came?
Half a mile, maybe.
Half a mile. It's a fair few frog jumps for you to run away, Jane.
Wow. Gosh, that's amazing.
Difficult to
This
tell
is
because of
huge.
the
Yeah.
because of the darkness. If you hadn't got the light, you wouldn't be able to see a thing.
No. Oh gosh, this better not run out. Oof. Yeah. Let's try that second door then, I guess.
Yep.
Right.
Put the key card in, and it sucks it back up into the thing, and it makes a bloop, bloop noise, and this little green light comes on and starts to blink. And next to it, this dull kind of like part of the wall seems to glow, and it's all kind of covered in sort of like dirt and stuff, but clearly the part of the wall that you thought was part of the wall is actually this glass material. And there's a light in the glass material, and there's a red button and a green button.
I don't know what those mean.
Are there any like symbols or icons or anything next to it?
Yeah, there's symbols and icons. You kind of make a comprehend roll. I mean, unless you want to use your own brain.
I mean, it's one of these things where I guess we would know, but I'll happily roll comprehend. Why not?
I mean, I wouldn't even know if like the supposed iconicity of red and green is still the same.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, well-
I've got a success in my comprehend roll. So
You've got a screen that's giving you an option to open or close the doors. So green will be open, red will be closed.
yeah, so I'll pass that on. I'm letting Gia control everything.
So
at
is
the front.
this a touch screen? So I guess I press the green then.
Try
push
touching. Try touching the green thing there.
You touch the green square, and as you touch the green square, you hear a click noise, and then another kind of like not quite screeching noise, but kind of a loud metallic noise as the doors unclick, and they start to sort of swing open. As they start to swing open, they also start to fold back on themselves as well.
Wow, Zippo, look at that. Isn't that cool?
You look at that, Zippo's right there going and looking all around. Oh, look, you see, look, they're working on like mechanics where well, she seems really interested about how the actual mechanic is actually working.
Yeah, I can just only imagine how much we must love like the noises of the card reader and everything. It's like, oh my goodness, it's got lights.
And it seems that the actual door itself, while it's swung open and then swinging back, are all on wheels and kind of on these little tracks, and then it's just putting them all the way back, which it does.
And do we see anything beyond in the glow of the torchlight?
It's pitch black. There's a very large room you can see. It just opens out into darkness.
Okay. Okay, but a big room rather than another
very large room. Yeah.
Hello?
Does that make an echo as Silas calls down?
Yep, your voice echoes.
Hey Zippo. The lights on the wall came on. The doors are working. That means there's, what's that word again?
Power. You mean power?
Power. There's power here. So maybe we can get some lights turned on. Where would lights be in a place like this? Do you have any idea? Like how we could turn some lights on?
Fink's looking around. She's like, she's staying very close to Gio, who has the lights.
Is there stuff on the ceiling?
You can just make out the ceiling. Yeah, it looks like there's like some kind of lighted thing on the ceiling somehow.
Because I presume that we would know what like whatever fluorescent lights or something look like from the Nova compound.
Yeah. It's got the same similar kind of thing.
Yeah, those light up. See those tubey things? They can be super bright. Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe there's another panel. Maybe there's another thing on the wall where we can touch something and turn the lights on.
Yeah, this place has lights. I mean, why else would they have those thingies on the ceiling, right?
So can we try and look around on the walls?
Yeah,
and push anything we find on the walls and see.
Yeah, you look around. You kind of like starting to find things. You're kind of like, I don't really understand, and you kind of make your way into the actual building. As you kind of get into the larger room, you can see there's another route. There's another building in this building, which as you kind of get closer to it, you can see it looks like it's a roof. It's a roofed building with open sides. In the middle of the open building, you've got large oblong rusted metal blocks and squares. They've got tubes coming out of the squares onto sort of like little handles, or quite large handles. And there's a smaller sort of like room made of glass off to the side under this building. So you're in the large cavernous building. Inside that, you've got this other building, which is open on three sides except for one side, which is all made of glass. And then in the middle, spaced sort of evenly apart, you have about 6 of these oblong things with basically hoses on of handles. And they've all got like a weird yellow kind of motif on each of them. And there's 2 handles on each side.
Okay. We haven't found any lights?
No, you're kind of looking around. And you do find that. You actually do find a light, which is in the glass building.
Oh.
Okay.
You kind of like turn that on and you hear this like flickering noise. And then the whole area that you're in starts to illuminate. And you can see in the room you're in, you've got like a little counter on one side. There's another little sort of like boxed object. You've also got shelves like you've seen before in the zone, and they're full of tins of things, bottles of things, bags of things.
This is
all
great.
of them.
Food.
All of them are in. Yeah, all of them are in sort of like a very regulation sort of brown and green with black stamped writing on all of it.
Wow.
And under each of their little things, the same symbol that you saw, just like a kind of slightly different symbol, was on all of them.
What, like the Eden symbol, you mean?
It's like the Eden symbol, just on all of them.
Right.
Wow.
Can I read any of the labels?
Yeah, you kind of have a read of them. It appears that the bottles, some of it appears to be booze, some of it appear to be rot-free kind of old drinks from the world before.
Goodness, we're rich.
The packets seem to have different sort of crunchinesses to them. Some of them are squidgy, some of them aren't. And the tins and stuff also, again, seem to be booze. You've seen some of the booze labels out in the world. And some of the other stuff appears to actually be tinned food of some sort.
Yeah, more rich.
Yeah, there's loads of it in this glass little room. It's got one door that comes in and out, which then goes on to the area with these little, these rectangular sort of like human-sized box shapes with the yellow sort of symbol of which looks like a big leaf. Everything's yellow and red.
Oh.
Okay. The metal containers that had the hoses coming off of them.
Yep.
How long are the hoses?
No, about 6 to 9 feet.
Okay. And how big are the containers? Are they something you could carry?
No, they're you struggle to put your arm around them.
Right.
They've got little diodes and stuff on when you get closer underneath the actual big sort of like yellow flower. There's a bunch of like letters and stuff on them.
Are there any labels on the barrels themselves?
There's writing and stuff on them. As you kind of look around, you kind of surmise. In fact, make a comprehend roll.
I would put more points into if I knew I was going to be using it this often. I've got one success. So.
Yep, that's fine. It's fuel.
Oh.
This is essentially a service area with a little shop and a forecourt with petrol tanks.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Presumably where you'd fill up your car if you knew, how to do that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is worth bearing in mind because at least from the booze and the food options, we're going to be filthy rich. Does fuel still work in this setting? I mean, petroleum has a shelf life of 6 months? It's
sure,
like 200 years after the end. I remember reading that little detail in the book.
Yeah, that spoils old zombie movies for me now.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Sure, why not? You know nothing about it.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, this is like the mother load when it comes to that sort of thing, but that's not what we're here to find, right?
Yeah.
It's more like if we're gonna leave, let's load up. In fact, just in case Zippo needs to make a run for it, I'll kind of whisper to her like, why don't you take as many bottles of booze as you can carry?
She's got a bag. She's like filling up
Oh, yeah.
the bottles, and they're just like, yeah, that's fine.
Don't if you make it back, don't tell anyone. And if you then come back here to get us, bring as many bags as you can with you.
Okay.
Like
Do I
trade
run
for
now?
them. Trade
Or do
for
I
them
wait?
if you have to.
We can be bosses, you know,
Do I
when
run
we
now
come back.
or wait?
No, no, we might need you for something else. No,
Okay.
you're
No,
here
I'll
for
stay.
reasons.
I'll stay. Yeah, she leaves the bag, which is full of like booze and stuff on the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
Um,
you mentioned that there was were there any other doors coming off of this big room?
yeah, you kind of like move. You walk around. You while you're kind of doing that, the rest of you kind of search the room. And there is another big door with another tunnel heading down. The door
the
itself
only
is
other-
open.
Okay.
But
Is that the other door in here?
No, there's no key card or anything. It just looks like it's a manual door to open and close.
Okay.
And there's another one of these corridors going down.
Can we try and get one of the vehicles to work as we got all this fuel nearby?
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure Zippo will be.
Drive?
There are some vehicles here.
How hard can it be, right?
How hard can it be, indeed?
I mean, just the fact that there's all this food here, untouched and everything, that means nobody's been here, I'm sure, since they made that movie.
Yeah, probably. But look, we have a gearhead with us. She'll be able to get be able to get one of these vehicles running.
Yeah.
And she'll probably be able to drive it because that's what gearheads are good at, that sort of thing. Figuring out how things run.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Two
She,
successes.
she finds this this open topped looking vehicle with sort of like it's enough for sort of like 3 people to sit in the front, 4 at a push, and it's got this open flat back part. She figures that's probably going to be the best to throw a bunch of stuff in the back. She kind of messes around with it for maybe, you probably spend about 20 minutes, half hour here, while she messes around with it, tries to figure out how it works. And then she eventually figures out how it works and it starts up. It coughs and splutters, but it starts up. And she kind of like messes around with it. And it turns out that, you know, it can actually move.
Amazing.
wow.
She hits a couple of things as she's trying it around, but she manages to kind of turn the thing around and parks relatively close without thinking that she's going to smash into anything. But yeah, she reckons she could probably give it a couple more hours. She could probably figure out how this works properly and drive it.
Given a few more hours. Okay.
Well, you know, driving to kind of get the hang of it properly, but she could kind of do it in a pinch.
Okay.
We now have a working vehicle.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. So do we go down?
In the vehicle?
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably easily get 2 vehicles down there, both going down there at the same time if you wanted to. Big enough.
I don't
We
think
know,
need
or
to.
we could just walk. But if we needed to make a getaway,
Do the
this
car?
might be cool.
Do the vehicles have lights on them?
They do.
Okay, can we figure out how to switch them on?
Yeah, you mess around and dink, you've got
we
lights.
go.
Look at that.
Now we're talking.
She's like, yep. She's got this massive grin on her face. She's like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. Come on, get in. We'll go down the corridor like this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You see, she's like ready for speed.
And then
she
the
she
light
drives
is
at
so
about,
bright too.
yeah, the lights are really bright. It illuminates everything. And she kind of like takes off at least a walking pace. And she slowly kind of like moves the vehicle down. And you kind of go down. You have to kind of like go around a couple of vehicles that are kind of like on the sides of the, like into the walls, or that are kind of parked there. And she kind of clips a couple. You're like, there's like crunch noise occasionally. But you drive us all the way down to another set of doors. This is another door that you saw at the very beginning. You have to hop out. There's another key thing you can put in, which I'm guessing you're going to do, Gia. Yep.
So, are any of these like different areas of the compound labeled in any way?
Nope.
Like, is there numbers on the door indicating the level, maybe?
Nope. Well, actually, yes, there is. There's a random selection of numbers and letters, which mean nothing to you.
I just, good to, I don't know, recognize where we've been or something, I guess.
Yeah.
At some point.
I mean, to be fair, there's only one way up and one way down. So,
well, so far as we know, you want to turn around and then. Yeah, wow, this place is so big. I mean, the Novas would die with envy if they knew what we had here. Oh, come on. Let's go through that door then.
Okay. You do the old kind of stick it in, makes the
I'm getting good at this now.
The thing lights up. There's a green and a red button. You push the green button. I don't need any help anymore. You're like, this is amazing. The doors open again, and you go into another large area. This large area is easily 200 yards by 200 yards. And it is covered in vehicles. All the vehicles appear to be within white or yellow lines. And there's easily 40, 50 vehicles in here. Some like yours, some that are massive, like, big sort of 6-wheeled things, which are sitting quite high up. A lot of the vehicles are in sort of like a standard brown or sort of like bluey kind of color, with similar markings on that you've got on the key card. There's just a load of things. And as soon as you drive in, lights start to blink on, just here and there. Okay. Wherever you seem to go, lights seem to. They're not particularly great lights. It's just very, very kind of faint lighting, but it's enough to kind of see by. If you didn't have the vehicle that you're driving in, and you can see on the other side there is another couple of doorways, not the same size to let a vehicle in, but big enough to let people in.
Oh, this is so amazing.
And on the other side of that, you can see there is a large map, which I will share with you now.
Wow.
Which I'm doing now on Foundry.
Oh, look at that. Will you look at that?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You kind of figure that you are at sea.
Yeah.
You're kind of looking at it going, okay. So it's quite a large facility.
I mean, if the biggest thing we've seen so far is sea, and this is huge, what the hell? They could have 10 arcs down here. I can't even. I mean, wow.
I don't know what any of these words mean.
Yeah, you're like, what?
Dormitory, infirmary, kitchen, canteen.
Kitchen you probably recognize.
Kitchen probably of maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does that mean there's more grub here?
There's going to be a lot of grub there, you reckon?
We're gonna be so rich.
We're never gonna go hungry again. Chunk can never know about this place.
We could be bosses now.
Technically, that is true.
I mean, God, I'd hate the responsibility, but I'd like the power.
I just sighed. I'm gonna side eye Gia there.
Okay.
All right. Look. It looks like there's a lower bit there. Security area. I mean, we found Eden, right?
You found
This has
Eden.
got to be it. This has got to be it.
So do we need to send people back to come help us look further inside, or are we just gonna do this all by ourselves? The four of us.
They're just going to take this from us, right?
That's true. Potentially.
We could tell them that it's like super high in rot or something.
I'm not the only person who can rot find that, like the next person who'd take a good look at it would
but we could
find us out.
We could maybe put some barrels or take some of that rot goop from that other place 1 or 2 zones away, put it near the entrance so anybody looking for rot would think that there's rot here, or inside the entrance of the first room we came in, and tell them it's like that everywhere.
You're going to
But in
carry
fact, it
that
would only...
for Tuesday? I'm not gonna.
I mean, I've got a rot suit on. I could do it for 2 zones, 2 hours. I mean, not a lot of it, just a little bit, like just a little box full. I don't know.
I mean, can't we just like check this out a bit more and see?
Yeah, no, of course. I'm just saying, if we want to keep this a secret, then we could stage it to seem like it's got rot, that it's high-end rot, so people stay away.
I mean, if this is what we think it is, we don't want to keep it a secret, right? We want to go to Eden.
Well, that's what we were just saying.
I just don't want I guess I don't want Fink or Chunk, maybe not even Trixie, to like be the boss of this. I don't know what I'm saying. This is difficult. But I mean, do you think we'd want to live here? Like, is the underground thing like?
Well, we need to see what it looks like,
know.
because at the moment there's not enough space. It's just, I mean, there are doors we could close, so it's kind of safe. Let's see what these other rooms are.
Yeah. Why didn't they let us stay here? When we were little. This is so big. We could have. I mean.
They must have had a reason.
Yeah, they must have. Let's look for that. Maybe something is wrong with this place. Although I mean, this is so big. We've got so much of everything. I need to know more of this.
Guys, says Zippo.
Yeah.
What's that in the corner? Which kind of points to one of the vehicles.
Yeah, what is that?
You kind of all like, well, what is that? There's some shadows sort of playing on the ground. As you kind of like wander over, you can see a whole pile of skeletons.
Oh.
You're like, what? Yeah, you can see a whole pile of skeletons. And the skeletons are wearing or had worn sort of brown and sort of bluish kind of uniforms. They all had sort of like insignias and stuff. They all sort of start to rot away, and you can see signs of damage to the actual clothing they're wearing, and a couple of them have got broken skulls, and it looks like they've died from violent means. There's probably about 20 odd bodies, you reckon, that have all been piled up in a corner.
Oh shit.
Oh, this doesn't look so promising now.
Did the grown-ups in our video wear clothes like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you saw some of the people wearing clothes similar to that.
Those were like elders. Oh shit.
Okay. But this is a long time ago. So whatever killed them, if something killed them, it's probably
Yeah, it was decades ago.
It's probably dead as well.
Or maybe they turned on one another?
Who knows?
Potentially.
But then
Well, let's just maybe be a bit more cautious, right? Because
yeah,
that doesn't look very promising.
no, let's be careful.
You say that as you turn around, and as you sort of like make your way towards the doorways. There's two doors at the end of this room, and you can see that the panels that are in front of the doors kind of come to life. There's a couple of green blinking lights, and as you get close to them, a little kind of square that's part of the wall kind of illuminates, and you've got a green and red button kind of thing going on. There's also underneath that some numbers from 1 to 10 or 1 to 0 underneath that, and then there's a little kind of key card thing to kind of put your key card in as well.
A keypad, basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do we have a journal entry or an item for the card?
No, you just got the card.
No, I mean for the card, so I can have a look at it.
I mean, I know we've seen the card.
Because I can't see that at the moment.
No.
Let me just get that for you.
Mm-hmm.
1 second.
If it's an item, could you drop it in maybe on my character sheet?
It's not. It's just
okay.
a handout.
Right.
Yeah, let me just show you.
I mean, not that the PIN number would be on the card that you can just swipe.
I keep forgetting the number.
But there's numbers on there. Look, there's numbers all over this thing. You know,
there is numbers everywhere.
64491. Then at the bottom, there's that like 1221, whatever.
Oh, maybe this corresponds to some of the numbers on the doors.
I don't know.
That's true.
It's just a thought that maybe, maybe some of the numbers are relevant to this keypad.
We can try punching them all in and see if something happens. They're totally not gonna, like, I don't know, self-destruct or something if we put in too many. No.
Matt, I've given you the ID card if you want to look at it at your own leisure.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the ID card that you have.
Okay. Cool. You
want to put the ID card in the slot?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Which you do.
Right.
At some point, I feel like it's never coming back out.
You get a bleep, bleep, bleep noise, and surprisingly enough, the door opens.
I could get used to this.
While you have this key card, you do not need to know what the numbers are to kind of punch in a code.
Aha. All right. Good. So this is the door leading from C to the corridor going to E. Is that right?
Indeed. This is the
or stairwell or something.
This is a stairwell. You open the door, and you can see lights come on. They blink in, fluorescent lights, and you see a set of stairs going down. And next to the stairs,
so cool with the lights. I love this.
Next to the stairs, there's also a door, a big metal door.
At the bottom of the stairs.
No. As you go through the door, you've got stairs on your left and a large set of a large silver door on your right, with a button underneath. You push the button, the door opens, and it leads you into a large box room.
Okay.
And on the box room, there's another button. Well, in fact, there's one with an arrow pointing up, one with an arrow pointing down.
Ah, right, gotcha. It's a lift. Okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So fire escape doors. Are there any lights on in the box that we just got into?
Indeed, there are. Yep.
Well, we know we want to go down, so let's push the down button.
Okay.
I'll push the down button.
Creeps me
You'll
out a
get into
little,
it,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, let's all get into it first. So I'll say it to everyone.
You'll get into it. Yeah, push the down button. And
It's like a trap.
well, the door's shut. You realize like you're in this really enclosed space. You're like, ah.
And that sinking feeling in our stomachs, it's like, ah.
You do get a sinking feeling in your stomach, and you get this the shaking happens, and then you hear a sort of like unwinding of metal and an unsnapping of cable.
Crap, a lift that's not been serviced in 20 years. That's great.
And all of a sudden you realize that you're plummeting to your doom. As you suddenly realize the whole thing's ricketting and falling, and you get that horrible feeling of that pit of your stomach. And it's basically the box just drops into the void. Should we leave it there for this session?
Yeah.
and this is how this adventure ends a session sooner than we thought.
Ed, with a cliffhanger means you're meant to be hanging onto the cliff, not falling from it. Oh shit! Cool.
That's our 2 hours.
Yeah, that's that makes a lot of sense actually.
It's like a trap.
I mean, everything was working up until now, right? Everything was, we drove a car.
Yeah.
The lights came on, the doors were working.
It's
Why
so
wouldn't
cool.
the lift
What's
work?
going on?
Yeah.
Amazing. Would you like some XP? Because we might as well.
If we're gonna live. To
Well, do
spend
you know
it.
what? Yeah, let's just give you the benefit of the doubt, shall we?
Oh, I love this so much.
Uh,
I mean, just imagine you don't know what that is, and then you ride a lift for the first time. Oh.
Yeah, I quite like that kind
You
of.
mean you get into a death trap lift for the first time? That's the first and only time, if you survive, that you're ever going to get into a lift.
It's like, do you want to go into this? Nope, I'm good. I'm fine. I never want to go into that thing again. You will all have 1 XP for participating in the session. You can all have 1 XP for participating in the projects. You did not actually explore at least any one new sector, but I will give you 1 point for starting to explore this place.
Woo.
Did you sacrifice or risk something for your PC buddy? No. Did you sacrifice or risk something for the
Actually,
NPC?
I think Zippo gets that XP.
Yeah, why not?
I didn't risk anything.
Anything? No. Did you risk or sacrifice anything for an NPC you hate? No. And did you sacrifice or risk something to reach your big dream? We're going to give you all 1 point because you're on your way to Eden. You hope. Cool.
All right.
Have some XP.
That's four each, right?
Oh, also, can you all take 1 point of rot while you're wandering through the the last 7?
Do we not have to test? Do we test rot when we take it?
No, you test for it.
But we take strength. You take strength damage, don't you?
Yeah. Hang on. I remind myself. I can't remember whether you test it when you're.
You definitely test when you're getting rid of it to see if it goes permanent. But I think you take strength damage. I think you take strength damage when you're gaining it as well. Which should be fine in retrospect because we haven't actually made any strength rolls, I don't think, this session.
No, you'll be fine.
Where's the section on rot?
So every section zone is not all. You can also get rot points from individual events. Blah, 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 blah. Every time you suffer a rot point, you must immediately roll a number of base dice equal to your total number of rot points.
Yeah.
For every failure you roll, you suffer 1 point of damage. So just roll your total.
Yeah.
If you actually wearing a rot suit.
I think if you click on the word rot on your character sheet, and it brings up the thingy.
And then obviously
So
for
I've
Silas,
suffered one. I've suffered one
but
damage.
no, you also get to roll your rot suit. Don't forget to roll for your rot suit as well, which you get to roll an extra 3 dice.
Extra 3.
3 gear dice every time you suffer a rot point. If you roll 1 or more successes, the suit absorbs the rot point. That's 1. About the other.
What's the one for?
Okay,
what was that for?
That's fine. You didn't get a
sorry.
So that one dice was from Chris, so that's fine. No issue there. So you don't get any rot. Oh, you don't take any damage. Sorry, you get the rot. You don't take any damage. And Paul, if you could roll for Dara.
I'm just what time rolling against the rot. Okay.
Yeah, just roll rot, which should give you the number of dice you need to roll. Again, you take 1 point of rot, but you don't take any damage. And Matt, you just need to roll 3 dice of gear. And as long as you get a success,
That's not a success.
that's not a success.
So I'm taking 1 strength
So you
damage.
take 1 suit damage, 1 rot damage.
I just realized I had 2 rot sessions going. 2 rot, I guess. 2 rot
Yes,
points.
two bits of rot points.
At the start of the session, but we spent a lot of downtime as well.
Yeah.
So we would have decontaminated at the arc.
We'll
hold on. I'm happy for me to take a rot point here and
Yep.
to take a strength 1 strength damage.
Yep.
So to keep that as it is.
Yep, that's
but
fine.
can I roll to get rid of the other 2 and see if any of them go permanent?
Sure. Yeah.
In retrospect, so this 1 is still there. I'm still losing my strength damage. We'll keep that as it
Yep.
was.
Yeah.
So I roll 1 base die for twice, 1 for each one, basically.
Yeah.
So let me do that quickly.
Don't get a failure.
Yeah, I definitely don't want a failure here. First one goes away, and the second one... Success. So that's fine.
Great.
Okay, so no permanent rot. Okay, cool.
Well, that's good. Okay.
Cool.
So, into Command Center Delta, then we go for next session.
Woohoo!
Yeah. All right.
It's going to be food.
Like plummeting into Command Center Delta.
Indeed,
Yes,
you're plummeting
exactly.
into Command Center Delta.
Oh, this is so exciting. This is much better than fighting the tentacles of doom in the swamp.
What tentacles?
Whatever they were.
I think I got the impression they were probably like more like alligators or crocodiles or something like that.
I don't know. I had that thing too with the glass boat, but I'm always sort of thinking like the Guardian at the Gates of Moria.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that would be
automatically
cool.
where my mind goes.
It's like, oh, what? No.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Thanks so
Cool.
much, Ed. And
Thank you.
you think the next session will be the final one, right?
Next session, I mean, I guess it'll be up to you guys to determine how far we get.
Okay.
So either 1 or 2 more sessions maximum, probably.
Okay.
Oh, I love this so much.
And we're going to be going live in about a month's time. So I think it's 4 weeks from today is when we've got it
believe
scheduled,
so.
which is the 28th of August. So that's the
Yep.
current scheduled date for it. So I don't have anything on YouTube right now to kind of be able to join and set a reminder just yet. But if you do want to follow along live and you want to watch it live, then that's when we're planning on doing it.
Please,
So-
it'd be very good if we can get some live supporters for the last.
We had a couple of
sessions.
people watching live.
Sorry,
but yeah,
I wasn't looking at the.
We'll see. I'll try and be a bit more on the ball. Although I'm super busy
too.
in August as well.
Yep.
My sister's in the country visiting, and she leaves the day before, I think.
Right.
So yeah. Anyway, we'll try and figure it out. It is what it is. But that's
that
when
is
we're planning on
cool.
doing it. So
Amazing.
thanks very much, everyone. That was
Cheers.
it's a good session. And yeah, let's see how we do next time. Well, let's see if we survive first of all.
Cheers.
All right.
Whiplash
All right.
from the fast descent.
Indeed. All right. Bye.
Thank you so much.